People have lost all their loving, live without why.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Psychederic here, everybody's favorite encyclopedia. And yeah, I'm trademarking that, by the way. Welcome back everybody. So today I got 5 LPs, I believe. Yes. 5 LPs since last year. I can't believe I haven't done this any sooner, since January is almost on its way out already. Figured it was about time. You know, I got nothing to do tonight. Saturday evening as I'm recording this. Probably push it out tomorrow or Monday, but yeah, nothing better to do tonight because it's freezing cold. Thankfully, it's the last day it's going to be like this. As far as like breaking news here in Lincoln, it's almost the 1-week anniversary of the skid loader. Put Lincoln on the map, man. We had a little incident down south in Lincoln where someone just broke on the job or something and was taking it out on a patrol car and just couldn't take it anymore. I mean, maybe he was been sleeping overnight in a skid loader and, you know, woke up and was trapped inside. I don't know. But didn't really put a good look on Lincoln. It's kind of a rare thing that something like that would happen here, but generally, people are a lot nicer here than in Omaha. But anyways, got a few things lined up. And thanks everybody that's been joining my live streams too. Got quite a crowd over there. I think the second live stream I did reached about 40 different people watching. So that's quite a lot for my channel. Same usual suspects, but you know, it's a little more raw in real time. So anything can happen. Very spontaneous. It's a very much a hard PG-13 rating. But anyways, I'm being silly, but yeah, I got plenty to talk about here, so we're going to dive into these without keeping you waiting. I picked this one up late December of last year, and I'm really glad I snagged a copy finally. This was an eBay find. This is Jake Holmes, his second album, is it? Or at least it's the second on Tower Records. A Letter to Catherine December. It's fitting, right? December. And this turned out to be a really nice copy here. I was a little worried about the wax. It said it was like VG+, but considering it is a quiet record, still wasn't very sure about the condition outcome, but this turned out to be very nice. No issues at all, really. The label pops and stuff, so really glad to scoop this up. I got it pretty much for half the going rate, which is generally around 80 to 100 bucks or more. Kind of fluctuates here and there, but yeah, I got a great discount on this one. Made an offer to the seller, and very friendly folks. I don't think they sell records professionally, but really glad with the turnout here. Of course, he's known for his Dazed and Confused fame, but this one kind of seeps into more maybe jazzy territory. Still very much folk-based, but it's got a lot of session players on here that have done a lot of things. You know, kind of seeps into different folk rock realms. Kind of has like a little lounge flavor in spots, but nothing corny. The whole thing's continuously really strong. And it's just a shame this one doesn't get talked about nearly as much as this first one. But then again, this one never seems to pop up. I've never seen a copy in person until now, so I do highly recommend this one. This is probably like a top 5 Tower LP for me. That's how much I love this one. And a lot of people point out the big highlight would being Leaves Never Break on side 2. probably notoriously his most psychedelic moment on here. Got nice stingy fuzz guitar going on, some progressive movements and stuff, and overall just really strong writing. And it might grow on you here a little bit too. It didn't hit me at first, but once you kind of sink into this and all the different worlds he presents to you with the whole sound design, and the mix itself is really unique for its time period. You know, there's moments even on some tracks where the tape stops and slows down, and it's almost makes you wonder, like, why'd they put that in there? But it's very much an artistic route he takes on this one, so very happy to cross this one off. Got real lucky on that one. And then switching gears here, by far stylistically, but got a couple heavies here finally that I've been meaning to pick up. So this is one of those records where I would love to have an original, but the price was so good on this reissue, considering the caliber of what this music is, I couldn't say no. So I will probably upgrade down the road to an original, but this is Mythos. This is, I don't think it's on the Ore label, but it has the Ore on the back here. I forget what copy this is. I think it's like a 2008 reissue maybe. And yeah, originals don't cost you very much. I think they're about $100 or so. Might have gone up since then, but I've been very close to obtaining a copy, but then again, something else pops up and I forget about it. So I think $15 shipped works for me on this one. That's how much this was. And this came out in like 72. I think it was recorded the year prior. And just looking at the graphics, this is what you're going to get into. It's some wild, zany stuff. It's not all entirely heavy. There is one heavy killer cut on here, Hero's Death, on side 1. It's definitely the track that might kind of reel you in. But then side 2 is basically a whole suite that goes into this kind of apocalyptic warfare. They translate war machinery sounds with their instruments. Pretty cool results, actually. So, you know, you got the snare drum kind of sounding like firing off a machine gun or something, and these different wailing feedback guitars sounding like bombshells or whatever. It's just very much quintessential German space rock here, at least in my opinion. Doesn't nearly get talked about in the same circles as, say, Amandul or Can, but this is still very much important to the scene, I feel like. So, you know, if I had to compare it, you know, if you guys like Ashura Temple's second album, Schwing Again, whatever it's called, you will definitely soak into this one real nicely, I think. So, get a shot of this label here. This is, I don't know what label this is. It must be associated with Ore somehow. Of course, really clean copy. Nice used copy here. And yeah, the reissue will do for now. But yeah, back in like 2020 or 2021, it's really heavily getting into the krautrock scene again, and this is definitely one of those titles that I almost bought an original copy, but we will see if it happens. And speaking of lacking picking up certain records, man, this is one that goes way back for me. Discovered this album probably 10 years ago, 2014-ish. You know, when I was all about the hard and heavy stuff, and from the early 70s, and that was about the same time the Somar reissue came out of this record, and I guess I kind of was just, you know, one ear and out the other with this one, just never really, you know, passionately wanted to track one down, and every time there would be one for sale, it wouldn't be in the US, and if it was in the US, it'd be like $50, and so thankfully, fellas at Gearson reissued this one last year, Orangutan. This is on Gearson label. This came out, I think, maybe May of last year, so fairly recent, and they're not blowing up in prices just yet, so really glad to finally track one down. You know, this has been kind of weighing on me for a long time, and this is not the Noble Records exclusive, but I am a fan of just the simple black wax. So I just decided to pick up a black copy there. And this is the same liner notes as the Somar label here. Get a little backstory here from Mr. Cargill. And this is so basically the whole story behind the band. You know, I'm kind of learning about their background myself because I was a little fuzzy on it, but I kind of knew of the mismanagement, but I didn't know how deep it went into that whole folklore there. But yeah, they originally were a band called Hunter, and then the tapes got sold off to a producer. Well, the producer brought them to Bell Records, and you know, without the band even knowing, you know, till like a year or so later that their material was sold away, to never receive royalties. And that was just really, you know, scuzzy business back in the day. And a lot of bands, it's kind of the typical story back in the day that bands kind of get ripped off in that fashion. But got the Obi strip here. And just like the Obi strip says, yeah, they very much reminded me of these two bands, Free and early Humble Pie, I would say, as the two inspiring sounds on here, especially in the vocals too. You know, it's definitely blues based, but they got just enough of that heavy edge to push it through, and it's not all hard rock. I'd say like 70% of this is hard rock, but there's definitely some kind of steadier, you know, some acoustic moments here, but yet still very much in that kind of, still lingering off the kind of British blues boom at the time. But I would say the heavy tracks are the highlights here. Opening track, I Can See Inside Your Head. Chocolate Piano is probably my favorite off of here. Great wailing guitar. And you know, they're kind of slow and steady tunes as well. They're not really fast-paced or anything. It's not high energy. It's kind of just kind of swooning back and forth. And then Magic Playground is another big highlight, closing track. So yeah, despite how cool the cover looks, I mean, it's not a bad graphic with this kind of ugly looking King Kong on the cover, you know, and the aftermath. But I mean, it's kind of a cool sleeve design. Maybe not the best band name, but I do enjoy this one. Yeah, this is definitely one that I've been really lacking, and with Mr. Bizarro's live streams, he kind of got me back in the mood of this one and kind of prompted me to pick this up. So, and Gearson, as you know, last year, man, they hit it out of the ballpark with reissuing some of this stuff, and they're still bringing the heat to this day. There's one that they're reissuing that kind of interests me. I was streaming it. There's a place to stream it on YouTube. It's the band Misty. I forget the album title, but they released it years ago, I think, on CD or something. It's a band called Misty, and it's like a UK-based prog pop site kind of band. Kind of interested in picking that up. I was liking what I was hearing, so we'll see. But yeah, Orangutan, definitely one that gets talked about a lot. And this is one of those records as well, like, I would probably never pay up for original of this. I don't know if I love it that much. But if this were to ever drop in Lincoln magically, like a lot of these things have, you know, you got July, Dragonfly, some crazy stuff dropping in the shops last year. You know, I might consider it, but otherwise, I'm very content with this. The sound quality was top notch. Gearson never disappoints. So, and then this is one, well, these last two here are a couple that I picked up from the local shop. Was very surprised to see this. I never knew that he had ordered these, or he had like 2 copies there at the shop. And it's not like I was like desperately hunting this down. I was actually kind of on the fence about it, considering the things I've heard online. But I'm a little more on the positive side. I'm glad I still picked this up. Got a little bit of a discount with this one with some trade, and this is Tinter Abbey, B-side, the anthology. This came out in 2022. There was originally a CD release the year prior, but I guess they finally decided people want the vinyl version. This might lack a track or two. I forget. I think there's more tracks on the CD version, but Tinter Abbey, if you don't know, it's a very highly regarded group from the London area back in the day. They only released one single. B-side being the A-side on the Duram label, with the B-side being Vacuum Cleaner, and the top-notch single. Can't go wrong with that, either side. They're just very simplistic songs, but they really make you feel part of that kind of Carnaby street scene, you know, the Piccadilly Circus kind of scene back in like '67. Perfect time to be alive during that time. And, you know, of course I'd love to have the single, wouldn't we all? But I really love how it's cleaned up on this version as well. It sounds like it's remastered pretty well. And then the thing that was kind of bugging me that I was hearing about this was that, you know, it kind of sounds like material that was kind of left in the can for good reason. People were saying that, you know, this was material, you know, it's like no wonder they didn't release this. But to be honest, you know, I wanted to hear more of this group, and I had heard the B-side demo before, but considering there's 2 LPs worth, I was like, I need to check into this. And yeah, I got a little discount at the shop for this, thankfully, and I'm really glad I picked up on it. Tracks like Tanya, Stickleback, I think later on were my favorite tracks. Magic Horseman. I can't really recall the tracks right offhand, but I remember later on, you know, you'd think like side 3 and 4 would kind of linger off, but there were some surprises in there. You know, it got really heavy in some spots, and you know, it's for the most part very much psych pop oriented, maybe a little on the Kinks point of view as far as their delivery goes. But if you love that English UK sound and you're not too bothered with, it doesn't have like bootleg quality. It still has that kind of demo quality, but it's not like, I've heard a lot worse, believe me. The Stooges live at Ugano's, it's not that bad. But yeah, I'm really glad to pick this up though. I would like to have more of this kind of material, you know, stuff from overseas. Tinter Abbey gets a thumbs up over here, so it's actually on a kind of a deep purple wax, but it looks like a black vinyl. Sound quality is good, no issues. Show the hype sticker here. You guys want to read that? And then the last piece from there, well, I talked about this, well, I talked about all these on the live stream, I think, but this is one I was given a blind chance on and gave a listen to for the very first time on the, I think it was the first live stream I did. And this is David Maverick Child. I picked this one up from the $4 bin, and that was the same day I picked up Tinter Abbey. Capitol Records, it's on the lime green label. And I had seen this cover online years ago, didn't really investigate very further because I couldn't really find any YouTube samples, and there's really only one track online. I think it's the title track. It's kind of more of a steel guitar, Latin, folk rock, I want to say. And it kind of dips into some bluesy moments, which are, I guess, even for me, not being a blues guy, they were actually not too bad for the style. I think some of you guys would like it. And interesting fact behind this, though, he's backed by Mountain. The band Mountain got Felix Popularity here, who he was friends with, and as you can see in the photos, you got Leslie West there, Corky Lang on drums, and it's a whole plethora of people playing on different tracks. But it's kind of interesting. This one doesn't get talked about much. I mean, it didn't blow me away, but there are some good standouts on here. Bird of Paradise was the highlight for me. It's got just both David and Felix on bass and acoustic, and had some nice kind of floaty harmonies going on. Very spatial. Really enjoyed that track. But yeah, it belongs in the $4 bin for good reason. And yeah, David Ree would also spend a little brief time with Fairport Convention during the early 70s, I think like 73 or something. So yeah, not too bad though for a $4 blind pick. Might pass this along in case someone wants it. Disc appears to be pretty good. Maybe a VG. But yeah, glad I took a chance on that at least. Got a little backstory there with the mountain connection, and makes it all kind of a fun historical artifact for that. So that's all I got to share. Got some records coming in the mail, like I said. And I think that's all I've got for tonight. So yeah, I'm going to continue doing the live streams. I might not do one this coming Friday, but I'd like to have a night off. And yeah, we'll see what else is in store. So got a couple heavies coming in the mail. Well, I should say one heavy, and then one I've been really tracking down for a long time. Finally made an offer on eBay on a listing, and been seeking this one for a very long time. It's not super expensive, but I can never find the cover in clean shape. It's always, some record sleeves just attract that ring wear so heavily. On black covers, makes sense. But yeah, I'm going to let you guys go. So dive into these tunes. Let me know what you think. And we shall see you soon.